Welcome in. It is Thursday night football. We have an AFC East showdown between the Patriots and Bills. Kyle Dvorchak, Lawrence Jackson, Vaughn Dalzell, all joining you guys. Long time no see. We're just talking about how it feels like we haven't been here in so long. So, Lawrence, what's been going on, man? Tell the people.
Nothing much, man. Just like we're all doing, man. We getting this work done. We really in the thick of the football season right now as far as fantasy goes. You know, we coming down the stretch right now. People trying to make the playoffs, so we got to be all hitting on all cylinders right now. You might be 6-6, 7-5, 5-7. We got to make these fantasy playoffs, man. Yeah, that's you.
The 5-7 team. Yeah, that's me in like 2 out of 4 leagues. And I got a 6-6. We won't talk about the other one though. Kyle, how are we looking? You making fantasy playoffs? I'm sure you're probably racking up tons of money this year, huh?
I'm in too many leagues to check, and best ball on DraftKings is terrible, but the action was good, so I have a lot of my money down there. And if you ever played best ball on DraftKings, you kind of just do a draft and then you find out how it went in March or something. I don't know. They take forever to pay out, so I don't know. I had a lot of 0 RB teams, which was good. I had a lot of bad Denver teams, which isn't as good.
Yeah. You rocking with the Broncos this year definitely probably let you down a couple times. But
I can't believe it's not going well.
They get worse every week.
It somehow in week 5, I was like, "Oh my god, this is terrible. Most of these players are unplayable," and it's gotten so much worse. I was arguing with our coworker Rivers McCown in Slack that I think they're worse than the Texans right now. They're so bad.
It's getting close to that,
dude.
You'll really know this weekend because if the Baltimore Ravens go out there and light them up, then you know they bad because it's not like the Baltimore Ravens just been killing it. You know what I'm saying? So if they go and it's in Baltimore, so it could get ugly. Then you'll know, like, oh yeah, the Broncos might be as good or as bad, rather, as the Houston Texans.
Yeah, this is going to be a great game this weekend for the Texans and the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson making his return. I already saw anytime touchdown for Deshaun Watson is plus 205 odds. That is extremely low for a quarterback. So, yeah, they are definitely thinking that Deshaun Watson is going to find his way to the end zone. But focusing on the game tonight, we got the Buffalo Bills, who are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games. They are also 1-4 against the spread on the road this season, only covering an Arrowhead. Which is basically a pick-em price there. So Buffalo Bills have not been a great road team this year, a little inflated, overvalued. We see them laying 4 here or 3.5, depending on where you shop. The line is 43.5, started at 45, came down. Any opinions on this, Lawrence, whether you're looking at the Buffalo Bills, New England Patriots, or any players in particular today?
Yeah, well, it's as far as the game overall, as you just mentioned, 1-4 against the spread this year and on the road. And as that total number comes down, the more it comes down, the more I'm favoring the Patriots in this game because they can win the game. Like you said, it's at 3.3.5 right now. Now, to me, the way the spread's been going this year, that's damn near a pick 'em. If you 3.5, you a pick 'em because if you got a double digit favorite, it clearly don't mean nothing. So if you get 3.5 versus a team that you split with last season, and not to say that the Patriots are playing great, but they did play their best offense in week 12. The Bills, on the other hand, have not been great on offense pretty like the last 5 weeks. They've been winning games, much like the Ravens. They've been winning games outside the Jaguars. They've been winning, but the Bills not just out here lighting it up. I mean, Josh Allen went 2 touchdowns, 1 bad pick, and 250 yards and squeaked by the Detroit Lions. So the lower that total number comes, I'm feeling the Patriots. I actually thought the Patriots was frauds this season. I thought they was pretenders like the Chargers. But if they get this win, they ain't no pretenders.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot to say after the Patriots lost to the Bears on primetime Monday Night Football. Patriots looking good since then, though. I mean, they beat the Jets, they beat the Colts, they beat the Jets once again, and then they lost to the Vikings. So, I mean, we talked about the Patriots being possibly one of the worst defenses in the AFC entering the season. Now they go up against one of the best offenses in all of football. But like you said, Lawrence, they don't really look like one of the best offenses in all of football, struggling in every game over the past couple of weeks. So, Kyle, are you in the same boat? Are you riding with Bill Belichick and company tonight?
I actually I agreed with the start of what Lawrence was saying, that like I don't really buy this Patriots team a ton. Like, I get Mac Jones is finally coming off of a good game, but
Yeah.
if you had told, like, I think had we not seen this sort of, it's not like a terrible struggle from the Bills, but they're definitely underperforming. As you said, what did you say, 1-5 ATS past 1-4 ATS past 5 games. I think we hadn't seen them struggling if we didn't have like the Josh Allen elbow injury concerns. This line would be probably pushing like 5.5 or 6. Like, had they matched up when we were getting total Death Star Bills in, like, let's call it week 6 or whatever. And I'm not really buying too much into this recent sample, which also has the Patriots picking up very big wins against, I have to assume here, Zach Wilson. This may be a Sam Ehlinger game. If it's Matt Ryan, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. I think I see another Zach Wilson win in here. Jacoby Brissett, like, I don't know, they're like a real paper tiger team to me. I'm not buying them. Give me Bills 4.
All right. Like, a lot of people are on the Bills tonight. A couple of my favorite fade people are on the Bills. One of my favorite cappers is on the Bills. And I even see a couple people that are max betting the Patriots because that line came from 5.5 down to 3.5 or 4.
All right.
You know, I think this is a very interesting game. I think the Patriots are live to win outright. And Lawrence, you said this a couple episodes ago on one of our shows, is that we have to change our opinions on these teams quite often throughout the season, almost on a week-to-week basis. New England Patriots, a great example of that. We were ready to throw Mac Jones in the cold after that Bears game.
I still am, you know.
Yes, let's do it.
I'm not like, again, like, so look, again, the Patriots have done nothing to this point to make me think they're above 500, but I don't think they're a playoff team. But like, if they win this game, you have to consider that, because we consider the Buffalo Bills a deep playoff contender. But if the Patriots win, they'll only be one game behind them. So up until this point, like, them playing good offense against the Vikings, that don't really move me. What did a little bit was the fact that they didn't get smoked. You know what I'm saying? So and Mac Jones throwing for 382, like, I thought I'd never see it. But you know, if they could somehow get they did it last year on a game where Mac Jones only threw the ball 3 times. So you just never know what could happen with the Patriots at home. I would definitely take the Patriots with the points and sprinkle the money line, because I don't feel that confident about the Patriots money line outright, but just a sprinkle on that.
Yeah, like the Patriots lost last week to the Vikings is like somehow one of their more impressive games. Like,
right, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
The best quarterback they've beaten this year has to be, like, hands down Jared Goff. I mean, Jacoby Brissett would be the next best one. It is not Zach Wilson. I assume this was a Sam Ehlinger game, but like I said, if it's Matt Ryan, it doesn't matter. And then
I would say the best quarterback they beat was Jacoby Brissett.
I'm fine with that too. It's either him or Jared Goff. Like, it's not. I don't think Kenny Pickett was starting yet in week 2, so it's not Mitchell Trubisky.
Even if he was, it wouldn't be him.
Yeah, beat one good team.
Lamar or Tua, or I guess they lost to those
losses.
teams,
I mean, another one though.
And Rodgers
keeping it close. Well, it wasn't that close of a game though. Still 11 points. They played a pretty, like, solid up tempo game versus the Ravens, but they lost it still. Yeah, man, they have not beaten a single team that I am afraid of yet. And I'm afraid of this Bills team, even if they're kind of slumping right now. Like, we know this Bills team has the potential to go out in any game and be the best team of all 32 to take the field on a given weekend. They've done it many times this year. It hasn't been as much as of late, frankly, but I still buy into that team existing. Where, like, I just don't buy this Patriots team.
I actually, this Patriots team, man, I'm looking at the rest of the season schedule for them. Realistically, they got a better chance of losing the rest of their games than winning 4 to 6. You know, you got Buffalo, Arizona. I know Arizona's bad, but we don't think much of New England either. At the Raiders, Bengals, Dolphins, and Buffalo again. Them last 3 weeks is definitely gonna be tough.
Brutal. That's
definitely gonna be tough. So if they do something here tonight, don't cover the spread to make us believers, win the game to make us believers.
Yeah, and big game next week for them against the Cardinals on the road. We know the Cardinals are worse at home than they are on the road for some reason.
Yeah.
One of the only teams in the NFL that are really like that. But the Patriots were also playing on a Thursday. They're going to get an extra rest playing on a Monday night at Arizona. So that's definitely going to be something worth noting. I think betting on New England next week, I think they'll probably be a pretty decent bet. But if they beat Buffalo tonight, don't expect New England to be a great ticket next week because they're going to be very inflated on the spread.
Yeah.
Sort of how we've seen the Buffalo Bills inflated. 11-3 on the money line, 10-4 ATS for Josh Allen in primetime. Of course, they are the road favorite. Before we get to all the viewer questions, because you guys are lighting up the chat, we can't wait to get conversational with you guys. I want to ask you guys about the total here because, as you know, we made some bread this year betting primetime unders. 20-11 was the primetime unders from weeks 1 through 10. But guess what, my guys? Weeks 11 and 12, 6-0 to the over in primetime football. But the totals come down from 45 to 43.5. Not crazy weather, 40 degrees out there, a little bit of wind. Do you guys have an opinion on the total? I kind of lean the over, but I think I'm going to lay off this one and try and get a live bet.
Yeah, every time the total comes down, you always want to go under. That's not why I'll say to go under. I'll go under because what we just talked about, how neither offense has been good recently. I guess besides the Patriots in week 12. And when we get into the bets, our plays later on, I'll talk even more specifically about the two quarterbacks in their recent play, is why I feel like the under could be in play. The defensive lines of both teams, even though the Bills will be missing Von Miller, the defense is still solid on the Bills side. The Patriots front seven, one of the best in the league, led by Matt Judon. I think he leads the league in sacks, give or take, maybe top 3 guy in that position. But I would lean over because of that.
Kyle,
Don't feel strong about it, though.
Yeah, I don't hate the over, but I only have faith in the Bills being, hopefully, at least a return to form, or really that like their recent form is just sort of an anomaly in that football's a wonky game. And sometimes teams just string together bad performances for not strong reasons. But to me, that means that I'd rather take like the implied team total, bet it over on the Bills, or their team total over on the Bills, than bet the whole over on the game. I don't have any strong conviction on the Patriots pulling their weight in this affair.
Yeah, definitely an interesting game for the total. Like I said, not much weather going to impact this, so don't think because the total is dropping that there's going to be some significance to the Patriots running the ball 35 times and throwing it 5 times. It's not happening tonight. But I do think this is going to be a great game, and we have breaking news from the chat. MJ23, not the real Michael Jordan, he's getting offered Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Waddle for Jalen Hurts and Devontae Adams. That's a superstar trade. Kyle, you go first. What'd you think about this one, man? What side do you want to be on?
I'll keep the Jalen Hurts, Devontae Adams side. I think there's not a strong difference. If any, you could even argue Hurts is like a better fantasy option because of how broken rushing is. Obviously, Mahomes is the league's best passer, almost by efficiency. He's basically 1 or 2 in every metric. Him and Tua are, but also just by pure production. They just pass the ball so much. But we saw Hurts has rushing potential that no one else surpasses. Maybe 2 quarterbacks tie him with, essentially. And I'll take Devontae Adams over Waddle. I love Waddle. Like, he's very clearly his team's number 2 receiver, which is still a great role to be in. But Adams is not only his team's number 1 receiver, but he might be like the most dominant number 1 receiver in terms of how much of his offense actually runs through him, his passing attack specifically. He's probably the most dominant. I mean, he's the most dominant. His competition right now for targets is Mac Hollins and Keelan Cole, I think. Trying to remember if it was him or like Keelan Doss, the other like.
Yeah,
like
Keelan, that's what I said, Keelan Doss. But
yeah, I think it's
that's
Cole,
the old dude.
Yeah,
like the old Hard Knocks guy.
Yes, him exactly. It is Cole though, I think.
Yeah, I take Hurts and Adams too, but it look like a wash, to be honest. But damn, MJ23, man, y'all still got the trade deadline, man. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too, but definitely a great trade. Yeah,
December,
after week, I think,
in December, you could still make a fantasy trade and redraft.
Yeah, one of my friends said the other day, and I said, my God, that's been like 3 weeks ago for the trade deadline. Like, you can't be offering nothing right now. We moving on to the playoffs here next week. But if you got George Pickens, I think he could be a guy that makes some noise over the next couple of weeks. Steelers are playing in the Dome again, which is going to help Kenny Pickett. So to Clay, I really like George Pickens here tonight. I think he can get a touchdown against the Atlanta Falcons. Lawrence, I don't know how you feel about my guy, GP, going up against your Falcons.
Well, I feel a lot better about him than Deontay Johnson because I don't want no parts of that. I don't want no parts of them 7 catches for 6 yards that he gonna get. But in this particular, you gotta love matchups against the Falcons, but I love Zay Jones against the Lions a little bit more. He's been coming on. He's coming off a career best game, 11 catches, 145 yards, and has had over 200 receiving yards in the past 2 games. So it might not even be like Christian Kirk, to me, not know, what they like to call a true alpha number 1 wide receiver. He might be the top option in that passing game. But Zay Jones making a strong case to be that 1B guy, 1A, 1B type guy in that offense. And he always was pretty solid, but now in this offense, he getting to show it. You get the Lions too, which that line set at 51.5. That is the second highest over under the whole weekend. So points should fly in that game. So for that reason, I would go with Zay Jones. Definitely not Gabe Davis.
Oh, you hate Gabe. I love Gabe.
You gotta sweat it out. You gotta sweat it out.
Sweat Gabe out every time.
I tell you what, I don't. All right, I always say this, but then it sounds like I do. I always be like, man, I don't hate Gabe. So look, I preseason ranked him 30th receiver. He's 28 right now. So he's pretty much right where we thought he should be. So if he go off tonight, he'll go up to like 22. And then the next 2 games, the next 2 games, he come right back and it's cool,
Yeah, I think I would go Zay here. I think to me, it's closer between Gabe and Zay, but I'll take Zay with you. It looks like you said, a really good scoring environment. The Lions are also just terrible on defense. I believe 3rd to last in EPA per dropback allowed. They get killed by receivers. They also get killed by running backs, frankly. They have a good enough offense so they can actually put up a little bit to keep the fight going. So I'll take Zay here. I don't hate Gabe. Don't play Steelers players. Are you kidding me? This is nonsense.
I don't know.
I like Pickens.
It's the only one. Were you going to say Lions?
It's the Falcons. It's crazy. He might be the only Steelers player that. No, I'm lying because you got Freiermuth. Freiermuth is actually the best start for the Pittsburgh Steelers this weekend.
For sure.
But the Pickens one, I don't have another reason to pick Pickens besides it's the Falcons, and Pickens looked like he emerging as the top receiver, but you still got Pat Freiermuth there. So I don't know.
Yeah, the thing is, like, the Falcons aren't going to be able to cover Pickens because he's like a freak athlete who can beat anyone deep. Then Kenny Pickett's not going to hit him. That's the process. And I'm not doing it. You can't make me do it.
I won't argue. Like I said, he's not my franchise quarterback. He's just my quarterback for right now. But George Pickens, he's my franchise. Timothy, we got a question from him. Kind of similar players here. We got Pickens in there, Gabe Davis again, and Zay Jones. So some popular flex wide receivers. Throw in Allen Lazard and Cortland Sutton into the mix. Lawrence, you'll go first because Kyle's going to probably talk about Cortland Sutton. We don't want to hear that.
I wouldn't subject you guys to Broncos country anymore.
He saw that Broncos in there and his heart just lit up with joy.
No.
I'm going to still go Zay Jones here. Timothy Chan, I'm not sure if you heard what I just previously said about Zay Jones, but coming off a career high game in catches and yards, over 200 receiving yards the past 2 games, going up against the Lions. High over under at 51.5, scoring going to be going on back and forth. So that's why I would go with Zay here. And like Vaughn said, this is pretty much the same as our last question, but you added Lazard and Sutton. Now, if this was Christian Watson instead of Allen Lazard, then maybe I'll be talking about something different. But since it's not, I'll stay with Zay.
Pick 2 more, Lawrence. Start 3.
Oh damn! I just completely skipped that part of it.
I wasn't sure if I should interrupt you in the middle or not. It felt rude. I'm spineless.
So now maybe Gabe is in play here right
Yes,
now.
he is in
You
play.
gotta use it, because you can't. Like I say, wide receiver 28 is good. You starting that receiver. It's just crazy how he got his points like that. It's not like Donovan Peoples-Jones consistent every week. It's the little thing you in the hospital. He like that thing. So I go Zay Jones, Gabe Davis, and give me Alan Lazard versus the Bears.
Me too. Same three.
All right, nice and easy, man. Any opinions on that on the Bears game? Would you guys start Aaron Rodgers if he's playing, or would
Hell
you be willing
yeah.
to start Jordan Love? Would you start Jordan Love if he's playing?
Probably not.
I don't know
Probably
about
not.
that. That's like super flex probably, but Aaron Rodgers 100% started him versus the Bears. The last 16 games versus the Bears, 16 games, 40 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
I was gonna
Oh my
say, had to be 2
God.
or 3 interceptions. Some disgusting.
He has his last 7 games is 18 TDs, no picks, all W's.
Oh my God.
And you look at the Bears defense now, and they might not have Justin Fields. Fire that up.
How about this kicker question here from our guy Adam Southwick? Graham Gano, Greg the Leg, and Dicker. Is Dicker the Seahawks kicker?
He's the Chargers.
Dicker the
Chargers
kicker.
kicker.
He replaced the other dude who kicked through a broken leg or whatever was wrong with him.
But Dicker was on another team earlier this
He
season,
was
which is
on
wild.
the Eagles.
The Eagles, yeah.
Yeah.
Filling in for Elliott, I believe.
Yeah.
Who the Chargers got this weekend? The Raiders, right?
That's a good game. That's why I was thinking about it.
Yeah,
I'll go Dicker, because you got Graham Gano at Washington. That game gonna be a slugfest right there.
That's a home game for the Giants, and I don't know how the kicking is in Meadowlands, but it's a pretty odd stadium. Not a lot of wins, so but it's a divisional game. You don't want that.
Yeah, and then Greg the Leg, you can't even really call him that no more. He was that back when he was with the Rams, and when he was with the Rams, he was like up there with Justin Tucker.
He was Legatron, baby.
Yeah, give me the kicker Dicker the kicker, whatever they call him.
Yeah. I like just play the kickers with like high total shootout spots. So
get the kickers out your league, Adam.
Also do that.
Yeah. I'm not opposed to that one. Lawrence, this one's for you, my man. You got your fam here. Talking your brother out of anytime touchdown, John Brown, or nah?
Who?
Talking your guy out of anytime touchdown, or nah?
Lawrence, John Brown is back on the game day roster for the Bills.
Listen, you know what? No, go with the John Brown touchdown. He went to my alma mater. Keep him in there.
Oh, did he?
John Brown, former offensive freshman of the year at Mars Hill University, and then he transferred and left. So you know what? Take him off. Don't go with the anytime John Brown touchdown. Go with the anytime Dawson Knox touchdown.
Dawson Knox touchdown. I saw a very interesting.
Even though them odds is probably crazy.
Yeah, they're not the best. But if you want to hear some crazy odds, why does FanDuel have a line out on the Buffalo Bills to win and Dawson Knox to throw a touchdown at plus 2,200?
What do they know?
Rumors are Dawson Knox has been throwing passes in practice. He was a high school quarterback also.
This.
So what are we doing with this? Like, is Josh Allen catching this touchdown?
I'll tell you what I'm doing for it.
What are you doing?
I'm logging in. Logging in.
I think he's thrown a pass or two in the NFL before as well.
Yeah, could be an absolute trap. I mean, could be the biggest.
Well, that's why you don't put your you know what I'm saying, you don't put your paycheck on it.
Yeah, it's a $5 or $10 bet. We've hit a couple of nice $5 or $10 bets on here this season, but I think I saw that and I was like, I don't know why that's even a prop, because it wasn't last week or the week before. So someone knows something about Dawson Knox in his arm tonight. He might be throwing a touchdown. So as Kyle looks into that, we'll get to a couple more. What's up, Devine? Says hello to NBC. John says pick one. Pickens, Wilson, or roll the dice with Jacoby Myers.
Are we talking Garrett Wilson here?
Definitely Garrett Wilson. I don't know what other Wilson we had.
Yeah, it definitely ain't Cedric Wilson. I would go Garrett Wilson right here. Mike White.
Easily, yeah. The Mike White offense is awesome. Like this
The
is
Mike White
legit.
offense.
I'm not saying Mike White is like the Jets quarterback of the future, but in the 5 games he has appeared in, they're averaging something like 430 yards of total offense. Like he gets the ball to his good players. He plays in a good scheme and has a lot of good players to get the ball to. Like probably a middle of the road guy. I think maybe he could be like a bottom, like a Jacoby Brissett, like could start for a stretch, not the future of the franchise. But everything around him is set up for success, and he's doing well in it. So, yeah, Garrett Wilson, and this wasn't particularly close.
I like that, man. Garrett Wilson still keeping his name in that Rookie of the Year competition behind Kenneth Walker. I guess we should say and Damian Pierce, but we know he's not going to win with the Texans. Isaiah McKenzie, 10 targets last week. I needed a Gabe Davis touchdown for a nice little parlay. Never came through for the boy. Isaiah McKenzie did that, though. Is he worth a flyer this week, or are we kind of just fading him now that he had his big game?
He kind of the reason why he's the reason why at the beginning of the season I was nervous about Gabe Davis, but then he didn't do anything. But now he's starting to show up. So he worth a flyer, yeah, but it also depends on what you got. Isaiah McKenzie is probably like one of the top receivers on your waiver wire right now in fantasy. He's either there or he at the bottom of your roster. So is it worth a flyer? Maybe, but it depends on what you have. I could probably find somebody that I'd rather play than Isaiah McKenzie.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like you look at last week and like that's the perfect scoring environment where it's like a game where the Bills don't blow out their opponent, but they still put up a lot of points. It's also the Lions defense, which the Lions defense is really the perfect scoring environment. So I'm not like we've seen them completely go away from him for weeks and weeks on end, essentially. So I'm not really buying this. I mean, the fact that I think it does actually help. This will be quite a little under the radar thing, but Quentin Morris, the backup tight end, is out this week. So unless they're going to use like fullback Reggie Gilliam or like throw John Brown in the mix more for the first time this year, anyways, maybe we do see McKenzie play like 60-70% of snaps, which would be optimistic, but like Lawrence said, you're probably able to find someone better off of the waiver wire. I guess they're mostly free agents right now. I found it. It was October. What is this? Like, I don't know. It was Titans Bills. I think it was last year. And I couldn't find the stats for it anywhere. I was like, I know I've seen Dawson Knox throw a touchdown pass before. It wasn't. It was a 2-point conversion, and stats from 2-point conversions don't count. So that's why you can't find them. But he did complete a double reverse. He is the final reverse throw to Josh Allen. Allen's wide open. It's a bit of a wobbly ball, but on target in the end zone. I like this. Actually, it's probably like the fishiest bet you could possibly make, but like it's definitely a story to tell if you make the bet.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, you got to have fun when you're betting. I've been struggling in NBA and college basketball lately, and it's not fun for me. Yeah. All right. But when you get to NFL and primetime football, and you get to throw a couple $5 or $10 same game parlays, that's when the fun really can come into betting. But back to Isaiah McKenzie. This guy's had 66% or more snap share in 3 of the last 4 games. So, I mean, from what you said, Kyle, I definitely think he could be seeing the field a little more too with that tight end injury. You are the guy to go to for the tight ends. We'll get to that a little later. Gabe Davis, Devontae Smith, 12-man
Devontae Smith.
I knew it.
Sure. He's right. This isn't even Gabe slander. Devontae's the right answer.
Yeah, it was so. Yeah, they got the Eagles have the Titans this week. If you want to beat the Titans, you don't run against them, you throw against them. Yep. The Chiefs and the Bengals know that very well, and it worked for them after they stopped trying to run.
Yes, great breakdown there. I totally agree. Jacoby Myers, Patriots defense, starting material tonight. Kyle, I feel like you'll say no to the defense, maybe no to both, honestly.
Yeah, I don't love Myers tonight. Like, clearly not going to be at full health. I don't expect this offense to do particularly well tonight. And we've seen he was like truly dominant as a number 1 receiver in terms of the share of the offense. It's obviously not the best passing attack, but he was dominant in terms of his air yard share and even his target share early in the season. That's kind of dwindled. They've mixed it up, throwing to a handful of other receivers, more so in recent weeks. So, I mean, it really just depends who you have as alternatives. but I'd shy away from playing Myers. I'd shy away from playing any defense facing the Bills. Obviously, like as far as great quarterbacks go, Allen still does some of the dumb stuff that he does, but like it's really hard to have a good defensive outing when Allen is so likely to get his team to like 30 is a very realistic outcome for this team. Their team total is 24-5, something like that, but it's easy for them to clear that. So I'd shy away from both of them. Myers is fine though. I don't hate it.
Yeah, he's another guy that's got a lot of snap shares the last couple of weeks. He had 93, 84, 86, and 95 before only playing 30% of the snaps last week due to pretty interesting game script. Don't know if
he was
what was going on with it. I was about to say, I thought
very
he
first play of the game. Very first play of the game, okay. He falls, and I assume either just his arms or the ball right up in his like ribs, or I think abdomen or oblique injury, they officially called it. And he didn't return until either just after or just before halftime. And he was clearly not healthy. Like he looked hurt during that game. Obviously, he gets was that Thursday game, right? So he gets a little bit of, or at least the normal rest up time. So I'm not as afraid that he goes out and plays like 30%, but it wouldn't shock me if he plays only like 60, where, like you said, he was like an 80% average player. So the injury is a little concerning. Even before last week, his role wasn't quite up to par where it was through the first 5 or 6 weeks. And it's the Patriots offense. So
yeah, Patriots offense here. And Tom says, no Pats D, sit him this week. You heard that on the primetime stat on the unders. No longer playing defenses on primetime football until we have an easy one. Lawrence, what do you think about this one?
This is wild.
Palmer. This is basically the entire Chargers team, right?
Listen,
So start the Chargers or not.
I guarantee you, if you start Palmer, Eckler, Keenan Allen, Gerald Everett, somebody's scoring a touchdown out of them. So go with Palmer. Go with Palmer because starting McKenzie and sitting Palmer, because you got to think like, see, this is what people get messed up with sometimes, right? The fact that you starting the whole city of Los Angeles, that's on you. But you just have to think about Palmer and McKenzie. It's about which one of these players you feel like can have more points out of these two. You can't look at the whole LA Chargers roster. You should probably be starting a defense too, I bet. I will go Palmer because Mike Williams has not practiced.
Yeah, he's not playing this week. No, he didn't. He didn't practice at all. He's not playing. He's not playing.
Yeah, so I like Palmer as a start if Mike Williams is out again. So yeah, and that's what we tell you, right, Kyle? If Williams isn't in, Palmer is in your fantasy lineup. Now the fact you got Herbert, Eckler, Keenan Allen, Everett, you get at least one of your receivers is getting the reception every time Justin Herbert throw the football. Now, if Isaiah Spiller scored a touchdown, I'm sorry.
What's their fullback's name? Xander Horvath, right? It feels like we're in for almost a 2-touchdown game from Xander Horvath, given how much of your week you put on this.
Man, I will piss him off. I hope that don't happen to him.
On this fullback weekend. I don't even know who he was till now.
I go Palmer too, though. I agree. Like you don't
funny,
like.
Man. I seen stacking, but he literally like the head coach of the Chargers with this lineup that he got. That man said, "You gotta be a Chargers fan. You had the number 1 pick, and you took Eckler. Then second round, you took Herbert. Then you took Keenan Allen.
Mike Williams is also on this team. Just he knows he's hurt, so he's like, I didn't name him, but I could.
He took all the Chargers with to make sure he took Gerald Everett in the 7th round. That to make
17th round flyer on Donald Parham.
Yeah, that's who gonna score the touchdown.
All right, guys, let Ben live. All right, let Ben live in peace. All right,
shout
Chargers
out to Ben,
fans,
man.
Cool. Shout out to Ben Schwartz. Marcus Farmer got a question here. George Pickens, right, guys? That's the easy answer. No questions.
No.
I'll go Jalen Warren.
Me too. I'm not playing George Pickens.
Hell yeah,
Anthony McFarland and Benny Snell, man, like they look good.
They're not. You seeing what these running backs is doing to Atlanta? I trust a running back versus Atlanta versus like the receiver is more dependent position than the running back position. So yeah, and Jalen, if Najee don't play, no one's gonna see more touches than Jalen Warren. So I would feel pretty like, I ain't gonna say I hope he don't play, but I'm firing up Jalen Warren in DFS.
Let's just say we hope Najee does what's best for the long term. On an
I
unrelated
actually
note-
hope he plays. I hope he play. But if he don't, Jalen Warren, Mr.
Najee
Farmer.
Harris, man, got the touchdown for me on Monday night right before he got hurt and left the game. That's my dog.
Right. I appreciated that from him too.
What were you gonna say, Kyle?
No, it's
opinion?
Jalen Warren. It's Jalen Warren.
Easy.
Yeah, Falcons have been crushed on the ground. Warren has looked really good every time he touches the ball.
Every time.
And it's hard for Pickens to touch the ball when they're way up there and they're down there on the ground. I don't want them.
I tell you what, Vaughn, George
Yes,
Pickens will have a better career than Jalen Warren. How about that?
Thank you for the obvious. But Jalen Warren, though, he's a dog. He's a dog. I'm not gonna lie. Like he's definitely gonna be a good running back. Can catch the ball, run, block. He does everything. This question though is definitely much tougher in my opinion. Tony Pollard been a beast. Alvin Kamara, Ramondre Stevenson. I see a lot of people on Stevenson thinking he's getting the ball 17, 18 times tonight. I'm not feeling as confident in that, but I think I'd rather have Kamara and Pollard. How are you guys on this one?
I think I'd bench Pollard.
Bench Pollard, huh?
He's truly a committee back. I mean, we're gonna see.
He is.
He's great. I mean, look, there's no bigger Pollard fan loser on Twitter posting about why don't they give him 35 touches a game, But one, there's a reason they don't. They've talked about it before. And two, we saw last week it went right back to a split. Zeke still gets the goal line work, and I don't think they're gonna be throwing the ball a ton because they're gonna. They play like the Colts this week. They're gonna kill the Colts. So
yeah,
you just need him to break a long run on one of like 12 to 15 carries. And I feel better, even though he has good long run potential. I feel better about my Alvin Kamara and my 9 carries, but 7 targets in terms of fantasy scoring.
But his 7 targets is the past 4 games. He's getting 4 receptions and 33 yards a game. I mean, that's cool, I guess. But he hasn't scored a touchdown or had over 45 rushing yards since week 8. I do like Kamara in the playoffs, the fantasy playoffs. Got great matches. But if this dude Jimmy right here, if you're asking us to bench Alvin Kamara, I cannot do that. So I will go with Kyle and bench Pollard because it's just about probability. Alvin Kamara is probably more certainly getting the larger share of his running back touches as compared to Tony Pollard, even though Tony Pollard had been crazy efficient.
Depends on what type of Alvin Kamara we get against the Bucs on primetime.
Last year against the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the best matchup for
40
Kamara,
and a half game right there.
Yeah, and I mean, he's last year he had 11 carries for 18 yards against the Bucs, 2 catches on 6 targets for 13 yards. The other game, 19 carries, 61 yards, a touchdown, 3 catches, 15 yards. So one pretty good game, one terrible game. And the terrible game was a 9-0 game. So hopefully we don't see that. But it is primetime football, so I wouldn't be opposed to that one. Not going to lie. Let's get to some more questions before we get to some picks tonight. Man, everyone's saying you guys tune in. We're going to talk about our picks here. Lawrence and I like the Patriots. Kyle likes the Bills. We'll see what happens there. They say the Bills want to win.
No, they don't. Come on, Divine.
That's really what makes Josh Allen so good. Is unlike most quarterbacks,
he wanted more.
He wants to win.
Come on, Divine. He don't want. They all want it. They all want it, man. These dudes is the ultimate competitors.
All right. To be fair, the Rams don't want to win. They want to go home. But
Rams don't want to win. That's true.
These two teams are both still fighting.
No, I mean, that's funny though. I don't know. I don't know how we actually figure out who want it more, especially when it's a team. Like, what if one guy wanted, the other guy don't? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Vaughn also in here dropping stats. Patriots average passing yards 198 per game. average rushing 109 yards per game. That defense is good. It didn't look good on paper to start the year.
Now,
but the
now,
Patriots
now,
defense-
Devon, see you coming with something good now.
Yeah.
That's good stuff right there. I don't know nothing about no wanting it more, but them stats is interesting.
Yeah, I like them too. How about Renee Reyes here? Washington's defense or the New England defense? Commanders taking on the Giants. Pat's obviously taking on the Bills.
Give me the
Commanders, right?
Yeah. Give me the comms.
Yeah, not even a question. That's an easy one. All right, we got a pretty interesting question here.
Nah, this
Garrett
is
Wilson
tough.
again making his way. Michael Pittman, Christian Watson, AJ Brown's a good guy to have here. Debo, Stevenson, lots of guys, lots of names in here. So you guys go ahead and just read this and get what you want. I do like the receivers that this guy has, though. These are some. Really
I kind of just wish you would have asked us who to start, because having AJ Brown and traded Stevenson for, okay, so you got Brown and Debo in the running backs. So I appreciate you showing us the roster, Fly Guy Nelly. That's a good roster. You're probably in the playoff hunt. This tough though. I'm gonna go Christian Watson though.
Yeah, let's do it. Like, let's have a little fun. Let's live a little. Play Christian Watson.
That is the fun. That is the fun play here. You feel
It's
like
the fun play, but it's also good. He's good too.
Yeah, they got the Bears too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
got the Bears.
Yeah. I was thinking, I really like what Michael Pittman's been up to lately, but I don't like his matchup against the Cowboys, man. I mean,
I just feel like Pittman has no ceiling with the Colts right now. Like I've never been less of afraid of a quarterback than I have like watching Matt Ryan go out there. Like, sure, Pittman has a really good shot at getting 6 for 60, right? I don't feel good about his odds of scoring. I don't feel good about his odds of getting 100 yards. I feel better about Mike White and Garrett Wilson being able to have a ceiling outcome than I do about Pittman. Obviously, Christian Watson has the best ceiling of all of these players.
I'll tell you what, if I was told I was guaranteed 6 for 60 for Michael Pittman, which is 12 PPR points, and you say you had to roll the dice, you take these 12 points with Pittman or roll dice on Watson, I'm rolling the dice.
I'm rolling the dice, baby.
I ain't cashing out. I
love it. I like that. Going back to someone we talked about way too much tonight, Gabe Davis. We talked about Devontae Smith. Just throwing Donovan Peoples-Jones in there. Would you guys rather take Peoples-Jones over Devontae Smith since you guys rank him higher than Gabe?
Nope, Devontae.
Yeah. We had this one earlier, Chris. Like we said, going against the Titans, you got to throw to beat this team. Top 3 rushing defense. So I would go with Devontae Smith here. I don't mind Peoples-Jones, but give me Smith.
We got a comment here. The wind is supposed to be between 20 and 25 miles per hour at the kickoff. As the night goes on, it's supposed to actually drop down a little bit to like 10, 15. So very interesting. I think we could see more throwing as the game goes on. Any comments?
Yeah, I don't think that 20 miles, that's not emergency wind, right? These dudes could throw. These dudes could throw up. Like, it don't get interesting until it's above 30. It don't really get interesting. And then
yeah, for the NFL, I think the number, it's somewhere between 28 and 30 is like the real key number for college football. We were talking about this year, it's 24 miles per hour for a college quarterback to see his football.
Yeah, that's all I say. This 20 miles an hour, that's like we gonna run it every play in like little league football.
Or if you're the Iowa Hawkeyes and you got Spencer Petras at quarterback, but you didn't hear that from me. All right, kickers are a thing, Joe. If you didn't know, Nick Folk or Cameron Dicker the kicker. We're back here. What do you guys think?
Keep rolling with Dicker the kicker. I just expect his team to put up more points. That's who I'll always choose.
Nick Folk tonight.
And they're playing in Vegas, nice environment. If the win means for anything is kicking rather than quarterbacks. The quarterbacks throw it with a lot more velocity than the field goal goes up. Like, you see field goals all the time. The ball's like, and it just, So yeah, definitely go with for what Kyle said, better offense, better environment in Las Vegas. Go with the Dicker.
Also, is Nick Folk like kind of hurt or something? Because they called up active roster 2 kickers, Tristan Vizciano or something. I'm sorry, Tristan, your name. They have 2 kickers on the roster tonight. Who does that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've read. I just don't know exactly what's wrong with him. I read a report from maybe Moose and Mike Rice, like Boston Sports.
Our boy, I got Coach says he got us on the drinks. I know he's got you, Lawrence, already, but he's got us on the drinks. If Knox does one tonight,
that's cool. You know what, Chad? I appreciate that, but you don't even got to get me no drink, dog. Just hit my Cash app with 100. If that Dawson Knox TD, just hit my Cash app with 100. DM me for the name after the game, bro. Appreciate it, dog. I ain't gonna make you do all that drink. That's too difficult. I don't want to put you through no stress. You know what I'm saying? Just hit the Cash app, man.
Lawrence, right to the bag, my guy. I appreciate you. Zero Prime back in the chat. What's up, my guy? We appreciate you. He's got a question for us. 2 out of 3, Wilson, Gabe, or Jeff Wilson. Assuming it's Garrett Wilson is the first Wilson. Gabe
I knew that. I'm thinking, remember earlier, and I was like, that's Garrett Wilson. Thinking of another important Wilson. I named the Wilson on the Dolphins that wasn't even Jeff Wilson.
I wonder though, like this person also felt the need to call one of them Jeff and one of them, who we assume is Garrett, which I assume means that Garrett Wilson is so good he's the Wilson now, right?
You don't even gotta say his name.
You like that one? We going with Jeff Wilson here, and
I kind of want to go Gabe. It is a brutal matchup for the Dolphins. It's the best run defense in the NFL. Dolphins are going to be without both starting tackles. Raheem Mostert might be active this time. I'm going to go Gabe and obviously Garrett.
Okay. He got 2 out of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Dang, yeah. The Niners are getting back Armstead on the D-line. Dang, I can't. I'll go Gabe, whatever. Give me that 79-yard touchdown, Gabe.
That's all you need from Gabe Davis. Raheem Mostert is questionable to play. He was limited in practice. He will be going against his former Niners team as a member of the Dolphins right now. So I do like him. I think he might get a goal line carry, a couple touches near the end zone. They'll try and get him a little touchdown, especially since I believe it was Deebo Samuel, was going back and forth on social media. So they both might have a little extra juice going ahead.
Bro, the whole half the Dolphins team is going against their old team in the Niners. They got like Trent Sherfield, River Craycraft, obviously Mike McDaniels.
What a name!
Yeah,
Mike McDaniels.
Great name.
Mike McDaniels. He's a funny guy, man. I'm not gonna go too much into him, but I like his Jordan talk when he talks about shoes. It cracks me up. Gus Edwards or Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams, man, trying to make a name for himself on that Rams team. But yeah, Gus.
I ain't starting no Rams. I am starting Van Jefferson out of straight up desperation, and I'm telling you, I'm desperate. That's the only reason.
You've already lost that league. I'm sorry.
What's crazy is I'm first in the division. If I win, I clinch. I clinch the bye, and I'm starting Van Jefferson, and I drafted Kyle Pitts. It's been a wild year, but I ain't starting no Rams, man.
Yeah.
Starting no Rams. Hey, give me Gus.
This one's for you, Kyle. We got Esco Vela finally asking the tight end question. We've been waiting for it. Who are the tight end streamers this week? Anybody that comes to mind for you?
I think if Hayden Hurst is out there, I'd love to get me some Hayden Hurst. I think that game, I think Vegas thinks that that game looks like just a beyond shootout. It looks like a game where both teams are going to pass like 40 plus times. I get that he is not the top or second target on his team, but he could be the third target. So if you can find him, that'd be good. Someone dropped like Tyler Conklin. I still think that it's not the level of I want to buy pieces of Bengals offense. I want to buy pieces of Mike White offense. Not as much as the Bengals or whatever, but I would still go there if I could as well.
All right. Like that. How about you, Lawrence, with this question? Jacoby Myers or your boy from the Falcons? I'm not going to try and pronounce his name.
Falcons number one receiver.
That's Olamide Zaccheaus. The great Falcons receiver right there. Man, I thought I was struggling with Van Jefferson.
Yeah, I probably go Zaccheaus. Against the Steelers, the Steelers secondary is really not that good, man.
You see, I'm not arguing.
I'm still going Jacoby. I'm still going.
Yeah, but he could-
Good luck. Good luck,
when we
Leo.
get back here Monday, Zacchaeus will have more points than Jacoby Myers because
I wouldn't doubt that.
Zacchaeus is the guy who get 2 catches for 43 and a touchdown. That's him. And all the Falcons receivers do that. Kadero Hodge, Drake London does less than that.
Yeah. He's 2 catches, 13 yards. Certainly not a touchdown.
How about this one? We got Garrett Wilson once again. Alec Pierce, we haven't got him yet tonight. Jalen Warren, and then White.
But is
White
that Garrett Wilson, though?
This has to be because
good?
I assume they're all running backs. I assume it's Jeff Wilson and Damian Pierce.
Come on,
Ooh,
people help
Damian
us
Pierce.
out
I was
here.
thinking Alec Pierce. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm assuming because they're all
You're
they
right.
could all be running
Yeah,
backs.
man, when you got names like Wilson and White, man, you better put some first names in there, man. And Alec Pierce, some people might be starting him.
We just talked about Van Jefferson and Olamide Zacchaeus. Of course, people can start Alec
You're
Pierce.
right.
Yeah.
You got, and especially with Wilson. I mean, okay, so I guess
They're running backs. My guess is they're running backs.
who's the White? Rashad White.
Oh, I didn't even. They're all. I didn't realize White could be a ton of
Rashad
players
White.
too.
See, who was y'all saying?
Rashad White's definitely above these 4. Like I'm taking Rashad
Right.
White.
Which White was y'all saying?
No. I was saying Rashad White too because I think they're all running backs.
Cool. You got Jalen Warren.
Yeah.
Jeff Wilson and Damian Pierce probably.
We're good. We just gonna act like they running backs.
I think that's the safe move. I think we act they're all running backs.
Unless Kevin R specifies that, then I would go.
Leonard Fournette's almost certainly back this week. He got into full practice today, so there's no chance he isn't playing. It's just to what degree. I think because of that, I think I'd go Jeff Wilson. I didn't pick Jeff Wilson last time, but he still plays for the best offense by a wide margin, frankly. I don't think Raheem Mostert eats into his work too much, and he still catches passes. So I'll go Jeff Wilson. I don't think this is a good spot for him, but it helps that he plays on the best team out of all 3 of these teams. And 2 of these teams are terrible offenses. I mean, the Bucs are not a good offense either, frankly.
No.
So none of them are good, but the Dolphins are.
Obviously. Well, if this dude's thinking about starting Jalen Warren, that means Najee will have not been activated. So I would just play him.
That's fine too. I don't mind that one.
Yeah.
Damn, nobody said Damian Pierce, huh?
I mean, time's going by the window, my guy. I mean, he's on the Texans. Like we already know what's going to happen after week 10.
The Browns are top 2 worst against running backs in fantasy. However, I don't know. I'm starting him, but I'm scared too because of the last 2 games. 16 total rushing yards his past 2 games. So I'm nervous. That's why I'm going Warren.
All right. Well, let's get into some of our bets here briefly and then get back to the questions because we have a ton still. You guys are blowing up the chat tonight. I want to say, Zero Prime, this is one of the best comments. Garrett Wilson is the Ichiro of Wilsons. JETSSS.
See, I don't know what that means. I know
Ichiro is a famous baseball player.
Yeah, I know he a bit, but I don't know the correlation of why that.
I assume there were at some point multiple Ichiros, but obviously Ichiro Suzuki was the Ichiro.
Yeah,
that's the only one I know.
Yeah.
Well, you don't like baseball, of course you don't know.
It's more than one Ichiro.
Probably. It's not like an uncommon name for the culture, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, but there's been a couple Ichiros, but he's definitely the Ichiro. Like Garrett Wilson is the Wilson, not Russell Wilson, not Jeff Wilson, none of the Wilsons here. So I'll run through my plays real quick. I'm on the Pats plus the 4 tonight. I would play the 3.5. I think the Patriots are live to win this game outright. I really like what they've been doing, able to keep the ball under control because Mac Jones has not done an interception in 3 straight games. So I'm taking plus money on Mac Jones not to throw a pick, and also the guy that leads the NFL in interceptions, Josh Allen. Of course, he's thrown a pick in 4 of his last 5 games. That's going to have to end here soon. He's going to have to definitely tidy up the offense. We see Dawson Knox is getting ready to throw a touchdown tonight. So Josh Allen, of course, not going to throw the ball as much. But unjokingly, 95% of the handle at BetMGM is on the over interception for Josh Allen tonight. So I really think
slanderous
sports books are going to clean up on Josh Allen's under interceptions. Mac Jones, I just need you to keep it up, man. Keep up the good work. we'll see what happens. So those are my 3 plays for the
You
tonight.
friends with Mac Jones?
That sounded sincere right there.
Because it's my money, so it is sincere.
I
I
know
want to win.
that was
I lost
hey,
the
man,
last 2 days. I need to win today.
Mac Jones, I'm begging you, please.
Don't throw an interception. I know you're good for one, but don't do it. All right, Lawrence, what do you got tonight?
When it comes to the quarterbacks, I'm actually going to go the other way on both quarterbacks. I'm going to go over an interception for both of them. Josh Allen, and this is ironic too, right? Mac Jones on the season, 6 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions, right? Josh Allen, 6 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions in the past 5 games. Both horrific, more so for Josh Allen because that's all recent for him. So I'm going both good defenses, both good pass rushes. That's what's going to affect both of these quarterbacks. So give me Josh Allen to throw that usual silly pick that he does when he throw it right to them. And then Matt Jones going to throw on with his eyes closed. So give me that there. Give me Ramondre Stevenson over 16 and a half rushing attempts. He has not done that in 5 or 6 games. However, he did it 2 times in a row earlier in the season when Damian Harris missed. I don't know who else the offense is going to ride before him, outside of him. Now, he could get his touches in the passing game. That's probably why this is at plus money right now, but I'll bank on it for tonight, especially with the low over-under.
I like that. Kyle, what you got, man? Are you maybe we should get a little bet going, Lawrence. A little $5 or $10 cash app tomorrow on who gets the most interceptions, who throws interceptions. I feel like one of them is going to throw one and the other one probably won't.
So does both of them have to throw it?
Yeah, if both of throws an interception,
we'll call it a push.
$10.
We'll call it a push if only one throw it.
Okay, sounds good. So basically, we'll have lunch for each other tomorrow or whatever, depending on how many.
No, I don't know about no lunch. $10 ain't enough for lunch in this economy.
$10. That's true. Unless you're going to McDonald's.
Yeah, I was gonna say with Vaughn, with your bets going poorly for the past few weeks, $10 is not lunch; it's lunch and dinner.
Yeah. All right, everyone. That's the broadcast. We'll see you guys later. No, oh man, yeah, you fried me a little bit. My camera's even come out of focus. You fried me so bad. All right, go ahead, man. Give your bets out tonight.
I got it. So I have Stephon Diggs, longest reception over 26.5 yards, -110. I thought this was a really high number for him. Then I looked, and he's cleared that at least once in 8 different games this year, which is, in fact, the vast majority of his games. And though we think of the Patriots as like this unstoppable defense, they shut down the opponent, the opponent's best player. Like, that only goes so far. When the opponent's best player is someone of the caliber of Stephon Diggs, you can't shut that player down. Look no further than last week when Justin Jefferson nuked him. So I am not at all concerned, or at least I'm not concerned enough to not take this bet, which he has crushed throughout this year. Of course, I think it's probably a worse matchup than a game like the Lions, but it's not a bad enough matchup that it strongly concerns me. So I like that one. I also I'm a Gabe fan. I like starting Gabe, but his distribution of points generally leans towards you wanting to find the under on him. And for me at 51.5, I'd still take the under. He's gone 3 of 5 past weeks going the under. Look, I like Gabe for the 120-yard performances. I don't like him for the nice 5 for 60 performances. Those don't really exist with him. So if you find like alt line over 100 with really good odds, maybe I could take that. But, the median projection for him never looks that good.
Yeah, you could play Gabe Davis unders and you're going to make a profit. But if you play his 100-yard plus, you probably make a profit as well. He's like no middle for this guy. It's crazy. But I'll run through your guys' start sims real quick, and we got a minute and a half. We'll hit a couple questions. So Lawrence is starting Devin Singletary. He's sitting Gabe Davis, and highest score is going to be Ramondre. Of course, Kyle's starting Dawson Knox. Why would he not? Sitting Jacoby Myers, and then highest fantasy score is also Ramondre Stevenson. So those are the fantasy guys today. Real quick, let's see what we got here from the chat.
Got one question.
One question. There's literally too much Gabe Davis questions here, guys. Gabe Davis, Christian. Oh my God, same guys. Here we go. Tyler Conklin versus
there
Vaughn
we
Dalzell.
Go. Give me Tyler Conklin.
Yeah, Conklin.
Conklin. All right. Hayden Hurst versus Tyler Conklin. Then Jeff Wilson versus Gus
Hurst.
Edwards.
Hurst.
Hurst and Jeff Wilson.
Me too.
All right. Bills or Eagles D?
Eagles play Titans. I'll go Bills.
Bills, yeah, Bills.
Bills or Titans D?
Bills
Bills,
again.
for sure.
Bills again.
Pick 2, half-point PPR. Mari Cooper, Chris Olave, Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase.
The last 2.
Deal.
Yeah, that's actually super easy. And then last one. This one seems a little complicated. One pick here. Miles Sanders, Pittman, Gus, Gabe.
You got that, Kyle.
I will go with Pittman.
Michael Pittman's how we're ending this Thursday night show here. I love it. So you guys, thank you for everyone for joining and watching with us. Make sure you guys follow Lawrence on Twitter at Lord Don't Lose. Follow Kyle on Twitter at Kyle Tweets Here. And then Vaughn, myself, V-Money Sports. We appreciate you guys. Enjoy some AFC East football between the Bills and the Patriots. We'll see you guys next time for Primetime.